for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She is Kim McAllister. We have our cocktails for cocktails and news, and we need to drink apparently more than ever. I love right before we go on air because I always seem to drop in to little conversations in the McAllister household, and the little conversations were a little heated today. I kind of so let me just give you my thing, and then Kim can kind of fill the rest of you in. But before we do that, can I just say thank you to Dan and of course Lori above the bar. Lori writes, "Happy holidays, everyone. This donation is from Daniel D. He says, Nikki, listening to KGO, watching all 3 YouTube shows, myself, Mark Thompson, obviously Kim, has given me the courage to now speak up. Thanks so much. Here's $49 to help root on the Niners for next year." Dan, I raised my glass to you, my friend. I love your emails as well. Dan always emails me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy holidays to you, Lori, and everybody else. We are 100% crowdfunded. Dan always makes it a point to donate. Lori makes sure it gets to us. So thank you for starting us off. We appreciate you guys so much. And going into the new year, thank you guys. It's been another crazy, insane year. I can't even imagine what 2025 is going to be, but we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you for all the support and showing us that you want us to continue doing this show. So I raise my glass to you guys and thank you so very much.
So are you having a Maduro mule?
I'm always having a Maduro mule.
Actually,
this is the Kentucky mule though, but yes.
I'm having the kimikaze with the recipe from the bar.
There you go.
Yeah, and I
love it.
So good.
Yeah. And we need to drink today. We need to drink. I have a drinking story, and there's the Red Jack Saloon. If you want to go to San Francisco, best bar. I mean, if you want a bar that you can relax in and try our drinks, the Kimikaze, the Maduro Mule, and the Martini for Mark Thompson, that is the bar to go to. It's just awesome. It's a bar where you feel comfortable. It's not hoity-toity. The drinks aren't $1 billion, right? You just can relax. It's in a normal neighborhood. It's awesome. So go check out the Red Jack Saloon. Say hi to Lori for us. Okay, so I hop on. Thank you again for the donation. I hop on, and all of a sudden I hear Kim's husband being like, "We're throwing it away. We're throwing it away. We're getting rid of it." And Kim's like, "We're not throwing it away." I don't know what conversation I jumped into, right? Because I just hop on and conversations are going on. Kim's like, "We're not throwing it away." And Kim's husband, "We're throwing it away." And so I go, "What are we throwing away?" And Kim's like, the Nintendo Switch, which I know how expensive a Nintendo Switch is. I was like, uh-oh, what happened? Now, this is final season. This is, right before the holidays, which kind of sucks. Like, you're going into the holidays. Like, I'm white knuckling it with my daughter. My son, not so much, but my daughter, she's in high school. And, it's a crappy time. It just is. It's stress. You know what I mean? And so, Kim, if you will, share as much as you feel comfortable. It's not been a good week, I would say, in the McAllister household.
I thought it was a great week until the grades started rolling in. And then it's like, uh-oh. But the first thing that happened, back to the Nintendo Switch, was I walk in and I open the bathroom door and I see Jacob like moving fast.
Right.
And then he's sitting on the potty and he gets up and he's got the Nintendo Switch in one hand. And he's not supposed to play it unless he's asked.
Oh, okay.
And so he didn't ask anybody. He was sneaking, and that's why he was in the bathroom.
Okay.
So there was anger over the Nintendo Switch situation, and it's often that he will try to sneak it. So it's clear that we shouldn't have it in a location where it's accessible now.
Right.
My husband's solution is to take a hammer to it or sell it. Mine is a little more pragmatic.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at the grades rolling in. Yesterday was the English final, the honors English final, and today was the math final. And okay, so different kids are capable of different things. What I might expect from one, maybe I wouldn't expect from the other, right? We all have different expectations. In English, I would expect that Julia would get an A on the final. If you've done the reading and you've done the work, 64%.
jeez. Oh, gee, mamas.
She went from an A to a C plus.
That, and okay, now the hard part is because she was doing so well, and then to kind of, and I'm not knocking it because things happen, but to kind of blow it, like you blew it.
You
You
blew it.
blew it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep,
it's
absolutely blew it.
you blew
And
it.
she had a couple of sketchy grades over the last week,
Of
showing me that she
course,
just kind of
right.
she's mentally checking out.
Okay. And it's
And then
hard.
in
The
the
holidays are
math,
here. She's a
yeah,
kid. You know what? I get it.
and then in the math final, and she's like a year ahead in math, which is great.
Oh, okay. So that's
So
another thing.
so she's good at math, she's capable. And she's
Mhm.
been getting like between 97 and 100% on her
Okay.
exams all year,
Okay.
82%. Which again, if
It,
I was taking the test and I got
right.
a C, I would be delighted. But it's
Right.
not me, it's someone who's very capable. So an 82% for her is not good.
Okay.
Anyway, tomorrow's the chemistry final. We'll see how that goes, but this week is not going well. And you
Yeah.
know what it is? I try not to internalize it like I mean they're her grades, it's
They're
her
her
future.
grades. It's her responsibility to study. And these are
Right.
life skills you have to teach her. Like, you can only coddle her so much, Kim.
That's
She
right.
has to take responsibility and ownership
Right.
of her grades. Like, this is the consequences of your actions. You are living them, right? I mean, you can't study for her.
No, but I know that colleges look at your sophomore and junior year,
They
right?
do. Right.
I love you.
Yeah, no, I know.
Why am I getting a hug?
Because you yelled at me, and I thought you were like pissed at me, and I know you are pissed at me.
I love
I'm
you.
sorry.
I love you no matter what the grades are. So yeah. So that's happening. But I'm worried about getting into college because I know that these are two crucial years. So I just have to back off. Like,
Okay, let
that's
me just
just
tell you this. Okay, it's not as if, and this is the thing that I think, and I'm not knocking you, Kim. I totally understand as a mom. Okay.
mm,
I think these are also the things that put so much pressure on kids. It's like
yep.
that one class was the thing that just changed the trajectory of my entire life
I know,
because
but
they
it's
looked at
true,
the grades.
isn't it?
But should our lives
I'm not
and
going
should
to
college
argue that it's
admissions be
right.
like that? Like,
I'm
that's
not arguing that it's
insane.
right. One bad week on finals week can
Right.
alter the trajectory of whether or not you
It's
get into the college you
insane.
wanted or whether you take a different path. I don't
But
know. But
okay,
I don't have what I guess I have to say is I just don't have control over it.
right.
And because up to this point it's been a certain way and now the grades are changing,
Yeah.
it's hard to go, "Oh, okay. I
Right.
won't be upset about that or disappointed in that." If she had been getting like average grades all along, it would have been like,
Right.
"Oh, okay." But when you expect something and then you log in and it's something else, it's like, "Ooh, what happened? And then you wonder like, okay, if the grades are changing, then what's happening in her world? Like
Yes.
is something going on that I need to address?
I
Or
like what
maybe
teacher Lori is saying here. She's like, she has lots of extracurricular distractions. Colleges will look at improvements also. If she dips and recovers, it shows maturity and ability to be resilient. I mean,
okay,
I'm also going to say this, Kim, and I hate to say this to all the, straight A 4.5,
sure.
GPA students. What's making you, and it's kind of going along what
Yeah,
teacher Lori is saying. There's a lot of kids that just get straight A's, and it, sometimes colleges are like, one straight A to another straight A. It's like,
right.
I want to look at the kids that maybe just didn't do as well because they might have something else going on, or I don't
Who
know.
knows?
It's just, I don't want to like reward not trying as hard, but
Right.
some kids just are B students. It doesn't mean they don't deserve to go to the top college.
Sure.
It's just that they're not.
But that seems to have been the way that it's worked out, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
now, if
mean,
you don't have the 4.0, that you're not even considered.
maybe, but I mean, I don't think that every single person that I don't know what dream college, let's put in whatever dream college you're of. I don't think that every single person that gets admitted to that college is a 4.0 student. I don't
Maybe
think it
you're right.
is. You know what I mean?
I worry that the doors of opportunity will close if she falters.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I worry that I'm putting too much pressure.
Yeah.
And I worried, saw she had to come in and hug me. Like, I'm so
You can't
upset
be
about it.
perfect in life, though.
I understand.
She's going to falter in life. She's going to falter. She's going to make mistakes. There's going to be distractions. It's how she picks herself up. It's her response to this right now, right? So you're upset. She's bummed that she got a bad grade. What is she going to do next is what's most important. Not that she messed up on the grade. Is she going to mess up on the next final? Is she going to continue down this path? Or is she going to learn from the consequences of her actions and do something about it? Like, if she continues to be then a crappier student, then it's like, well, great, you didn't do anything. But if she takes this and be like, I don't like how this feels. I don't like the fact that I was an A student and now I got it after all of those great tests. And now look, I screwed up on one test and now I have a C. All that hard work, you know what I mean? Like, that sucks. And I don't like that feeling. Then she learns from it. Now, because nobody can be perfect, Kim. Nobody can be perfect.
No.
So you gotta, this is a learning lesson. So, Julia, your mom loves you. If you're listening,
I totally love her. I just worry. I know. I don't want her to close doors, because who knows what's going to happen at the end of high school? Like, whether she wants to go to some fancy place, or whether she wants to go to the JC, or whether she wants to go to music college, whatever it is. Like, I want the opportunities to be there for her.
Yeah.
But it's not my grade. It's her grades. And she has to care. She can't get the grades for me. She has to get the grades for herself.
Exactly. And, and it's one of those things where, I mean, my daughter tells me this story where she's in this math class and, she's surrounded, and math, does not come necessarily easy to my daughter. And so when she gets, a B, she's so proud of herself, because she works really hard for that B.
Right.
And so but she's sitting with kids where if they get a 95, they're like, oh my God, I need a tutor. And she feels for them. Like, and I feel for them. I'm like, okay. Now, and I tell her, I go, you don't know what's going on at home, right? You don't know the conversations that are going on at home and the pressure, right? Like, to do that. And so again, you just don't know what's going on in their minds and what they want for themselves, what their parents want for them. And so you just have to always keep that in mind, because Marley's like, how am I supposed to celebrate a B when I'm surrounded by people that if they get an A-, they're like beating themselves up? Then I feel like, well, I don't even want to celebrate my accomplishment around these people. And it's like, you know what? Celebrate every accomplishment that you worked hard for. That's all you can do. So, but this is a tough time. I'm just trying to get her through Spanish. In all honesty, like, if we could just get through freaking Spanish, I could just, like, please, almighty, por favor, just get through freaking Spanish,
Gemma says,
all I want.
Aloha, I was a straight A except for 2 B's in French and 1 C in PE because I was sick. Still got into Berkeley because it was the SAT and 5 AP classes with 5.0. And I didn't freak out when I was at 3.91. It's crazy. And then Mindy wonders whether I should be talking about this at all, that she might come to resent me. Here's the thing about my kids, Mindy, and I appreciate your concern about that. Really, I do. But my kids have grown up on KGO radio. They've been on the air multiple times. They know, they've called into shows. Like, they know that life is lived out loud. We
discuss our lives on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she's okay.
Same with my kids. Exactly. But if not, sorry, Julia. Julia. Sorry. But anyways, I mean, again, and I do think that what we're saying about her is really encouraging. And I think that what we're saying is to her benefit. And I think it's to most kids' benefits. It's like, and I say that to my son as well, who, I say the same thing. You worked for that A, don't blow it at the end, right? Like, just try not to blow it at the end. But if you do, you do. Like, he has this ceramics project and he's like not turning it in. And I'm like, you are going to get a B in a class because you didn't fire your stupid skull. Like, fire the damn thing. Like, turn it in. Like,
No,
what are
and
you doing?
that's the same thing, though. It's like they have to learn those lessons, right?
It's so
And
funny.
sometimes it's hard to watch them learn those
Yeah.
lessons when you know it's gonna come at a
Exactly,
greater expense
exactly,
later on. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, so anyways, that's enough about our kids. We'll
yeah.
we'll we'll pull back a little bit. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's just finals week and then it's the holidays. I did promise you guys I was going to talk a bit about what I was buying. Remember, I told you there was a couple of things I was requesting. Really, one thing, my big ass calendar. Remember, I was talking about this big ass calendar that I requested.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
what it's called. It's called the big ass calendar. And it's a gigantic calendar. I was going to bring it up and I forgot to bring up the website. But I also have I have something that you guys can buy. And I put the link in the show notes. And this is something that you can actually buy. Like, it's one of my favorite things that I have actually purchased because I'm trying to buy less stuff because I told you guys last week we're going on a road trip. I'm trying not to buy a lot of consumables. I'm trying to make memories. But what I am buying was actually something on Shark Tank. And it's to help you wrap your gifts. Does anyone hate wrapping gifts? And if you're over the age of 40, do not do it on the floor anymore because you'll never get up, like I've learned many, many times. So this is what I've purchased. I think it's genius. I used to have a pencil kind of version of it, but the reason why I like this thing for wrapping presents is because it actually holds your wrapping paper roller. Have you
Okay.
ever heard of the little elf wrapping paper cutter?
No,
Anybody?
tell me more.
Anybody? I'm going to show you the video. I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for it. I hope not, since I'm actually literally doing them a little commercial right here. But this was on Shark Tank. Okay. Oh, and I like that, Kim, that you don't wrap. I
It's
know
cool
I
with
suck
gift
at
bags.
wrapping too.
Yeah.
I like gift bags too, but some things you can't fit in a freaking gift bag. So here's the commercial. This is the little elf gift wrap cutter. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I'm going to buy.
The Little
This is
Elf
my
gift
buy.
wrap cutter is your answer for wrapping presents made easy. Here's how it works. First, slide the Little Elf over your gift wrap roll.
There you go.
Next, pull a sheet of paper through the slot to your desired length.
I think.
There you go.
Then, slide the Little Elf back down to the end of the roll so that the sheet of paper drops into the blade embedded in the slot.
There you go. And
Finally,
look at that.
gently push the Little Elf down the roll to get a smooth, clean, and straight cut every time.
See, isn't that kind of genius?
How much is that?
It was like $20.
$20 when I have scissors at my house?
Oh no. See, my problem is that is the thing that I suck the most at. So that is the thing that bothers me the most about wrapping gifts is I have terrible scissors. I'm not one of those crafty people that have really sharp scissors that go like that. That is the thing that aggravates me the most. So what happens with me is that I'll have a good slide and then it'll rip.
Oh.
There is nothing more aggravating to me than that. And not
All
finding
right.
the tape and then losing the scissors. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that's it for me.
Well,
It's
you'll
worth
have
the $20.
this. You'll have this item forever, right?
Well, I used to have a little. It literally looked like a pencil, and basically had the same thing, but it wasn't bigger. I like the bigger thing because I could find it, and it basically did the same thing. You would just go, shh, and it would cut the paper for you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I loved it, but I kept losing it because it was literally the size of a pencil. This thing is bigger. I
Substantial.
wouldn't lose it, and so I know I can get a pair of good sharp scissors, Jim. I'm telling you, I don't have them. And you know what? Even if I bought good scissors, do you know I have 2 people living in my house that I birthed that would steal them and destroy them. Destroy them. So no, I'm not buying scissors. There's 2 things in life that I lose every Christmas: scissors and tape. So yeah, it's not happening. So yeah.
And Jennifer says I would still mess it up. Gift bags all the way. No.
You know, you can also wrap them in, like, people are like, I'll just drape a blanket over my gifts. I'm like, you know what? I'm just wrapping my damn gifts. That's all. That was
Heather's a
satisfying. So,
fan.
yeah, see?
Yeah.
So I put it in there as my show notes is one of my favorite things. It says Nikki's favorite thing. One thing. That's the thing. And then I have my big ass calendar. And the big ass calendar is literally, it's a gigantic calendar. I'm just going to show you a picture of it really, really quickly. It's really, really big. And the reason why I'm getting this is because I'm trying to plan out my year of not like wasting my time. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have.
Does it not stress you out to plan out your year? Like if I'm looking at a calendar that big and I'm seeing my whole year, I'm seeing all the stuff I have to do for the entire year. Like I just want to take it one day at a time, people. I
No.
can't be looking into the future and thinking about all the crap that's coming my way.
Well, no, but it's not crap that you're putting on the calendar. So, and I can't, the stupid thing went down. Okay, so it's a gigantic calendar. And basically what it does is you plan mini adventures. So every other month, you plan something that you want to do. So for instance, like let's say I want to learn how to I'm just going to choose golfing. I don't know why golf always pops into my mind, but let's say golf. Not like it's an adventure, but it's something new that I want to learn. So every other month, I'm going to golf. Okay. And then at the end of the year, I've golfed 6 times. You should choose something better than that, but I'm just going to say golf. So at the end of the year, I'm like, I've golfed 6 times and I've never golfed before in my life. Okay. So you're supposed to, there it is. And you're supposed to put it on your wall and see all those little colorful things. Those are mini adventures, vacations you're supposed to take with your kids. It's all things you want to do. This is not work things. This is not dentist appointments. This is nothing like that. These are all things you want to do. Like for instance, my vacations, my road trip with my kids, my mini adventures, and then the thing that I was mentioning last week, the misogi. The misogi is, it's supposed to be something huge, something where you have a 50-50 chance of not completing. Like, for instance, for me, it would be, I'm not doing this, but like someone mentioned, a marathon or writing a book or something huge like that, right? Or changing a job, something huge where you might not actually succeed at the end of the year, but you're going to give it a shot. That's like your misogi. And it's like this Japanese, that's why it's called it. And so that's what you're supposed to be doing with this big ass calendar. And you put it somewhere. And that's the reason why it's so big is it's in your face. And I'm going to put it in my bedroom right at the end of my bed because I have this blank ass wall right there. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to do it if my husband buys me this calendar. I did not buy it for myself. I put it on my Christmas list.
So it's supposed to be inspirational then.
Definitely is inspirational. Okay. Yeah, definitely inspirational. I want something to distract. I said this. I want something to distract me from what's going to be a very, for lack of a better word, insane next 4 years. It's not normal. It's not even normal what we're seeing right now. Like, we're talking about it. Like, this is what we wanted to talk about. Like, this is what I was teasing my thumbnail. The government shutdown, the fact that Elon Musk is having as much of a South African born Elon Musk is having this much of an influence on whether or not our government stays open is not normal. The fact that people are taking something that is called Doge because Elon Musk likes Doge. The Department of Government Efficiency was named that because Elon Musk Bitcoin is called Doge. It is as if frat boys, sorry for frat boys out there, are running the government. I mean, these nominees, these RFK Jr., like, I'm sorry, it is not normal times that we're living in right now. And it's insane. Yeah. Trump actually wants to get rid of the debt ceiling until what, 2027? Chip Roy, who I actually like as a Republican because he keeps calling out other Republicans, pissed off. I want to play you this video. If you'll take that down just for a second, Kim. I want to play you this video. Chip Roy is always pissed off because he always calls out Republicans for doing jack shit. If you remember, he always says that. He's like, we've done nothing. Well, he's pissed about the debt ceiling. He's pissed about all of it. So here he is again, I think today, talking about it. Here, let me start at the beginning. Here we go.
Fact of the matter is, $330 billion. Congratulations. You've added to the debt since you were given the majority again on November 5th. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. Yes, I think this bill is better than it was yesterday on certain respects, but to take this bill yesterday and congratulate yourself because it's shorter in pages, but increases the debt by $5 trillion is asinine. And that's precisely what Republicans are doing. I'm absolutely sickened by a party that campaigns on fiscal responsibility and has the temerity to go forward to the American people and say, you think this is fiscally responsible. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
That's Chip Roy. And then Trump talks bad about Chip Roy, who
of course, because if you go against Trump, and he said anyone who doesn't do it my way is going to get primaried.
Exactly. And Chip Roy supports Trump. Like, it's insane. And this is what is going to it's already starting. We are not living in normal times. I'm going to put, and I apologize that I didn't put on my Facebook page, Chris Murphy. He's a Democrat, of course, but Chris Murphy was interviewed by the New Republic. I'm going to post it after the show. He gave this, he's the Democrat of Connecticut. He gave this great interview to the New Republic exactly about this, about how it is basically insane. We're already seeing it. And while I read the interview, but it was audio. As I was reading this interview, the thing that got me even more upset than just what, the Republicans and Trump and everything was doing, the thing that kept screaming in my mind was what Chris Murphy was saying was, what are the Democrats doing? We need to do something now. Like, he was saying, like, yes, we can lick our wounds, but we have to do something now. There you go. We have to do something now. Like, doing it after the inauguration, saying something after the inauguration. Yeah, we're going to, but we got to say something now. It is not normal. This is not normal to go after Liz Cheney for things they're a part of her job. She is allowed to investigate things as part of her job. Yeah. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It is insane. The ABC thing, kowtowing to Trump, the media failing. Like, I know the ABC thing happened several days ago, but we haven't, obviously had a show since that happened. I am so utterly disappointed in ABC. Like, what are you talking about? I understand that there is a difference between saying rape and sexual assault. Like, I understand that, but give me a friggin' break. You could have gone to court, right? And the fact that you're going up against a serial liar, right? Like, as if Donald Trump has a leg to stand on telling the effing truth. Like, are you serious? That he's going to look at the American people in the eye and be like, George Stephanopoulos said rape when it should have been sexual assault. You know how many times you effing lie to the American people over and over and over again?
So see, I don't think it was the R word versus sexual assault. I think it was, and this is the way I understood it, but tell me if I'm wrong. I read it that Stephanopoulos said that Trump was convicted of rape. And the truth is, he was not convicted of it. He was found legally liable in a civil trial. And that is the difference. I mean, you can call it sexual assault, you can call it rape, you can call it whatever you want, but you could maybe even say it's a difference of semantics, whether you're found legally liable or whether you're convicted in a criminal case, you still
Well, the reason why I brought up the R word was because the jury was specifically asked about the R word and they said no.
Okay.
And so when George Stephanopoulos used that word, that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it was all of these things. And maybe ABC realized, well, we know that you can't convict people as reporters. We know you can't convict people of a crime they haven't been convicted of criminally, right?
Right.
We know you have to say allegedly. So maybe ABC looked at the case and went, well, it doesn't meet our standards and it's cheaper to pay it out than to pay a bunch of lawyers at a case that could cost us even more than this down the road.
But all of the all of the people that have been examining the case have said that the bar is so high when you're talking about government or public officials. Like ABC likely could have won their case, right? Like this whole, misspeaking and whatever. But the fact that they just like rolled over so quickly, right? And on top of it, the fact that, the lack of endorsements in the last presidential election, all of these things where the media seems to just be not wanting to take on Donald Trump. Why? That is your job. And the only thing I can think of is that the media is run by extremely wealthy people that benefit from Trump in office. They benefit.
Or that are scared of what's to come.
Yeah. I don't think they're scared. They benefit. I mean, if I have $1 billion effing dollars, what am I afraid of? What am I personally afraid of? What am I afraid of? I'm not afraid of losing my money. I have completely protected myself. They benefit. They benefit. They want the tax breaks. They want the tax shelters. That's my opinion. They benefit from it. They want to continue to protect their money and their investments. And the way they do that is by having another billion, whatever, however Trump is, in office. And I would say Elon Musk in office. You think that they're protecting you, the middle class worker? Give me a break. Come on. We're not still buying that, right? We never did. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the only thing I could think of. Every single, when you talk about the LA Times, Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, all of this stuff, it's rich people kowtowing to Donald Trump, and people are, well, they're afraid. Well, they're not. There's nothing for them to be afraid of. What would they be afraid of? The only thing they would be afraid of is losing their money. That's it. And the only people coming from their money and wanting, right, for the distribution of wealth fairly are Democrats, right? Democrats.
Rev writes, the media is a corporation. They don't want their licenses revoked by the FCC, and they also benefit from Trump.
Yeah.
My worry is that in a time where we need the truth, because in the next 4 years, we're going to have lies thrown at us every day.
Yep.
And the more they lie, the more people will believe it. And we have to have people looking for the truth, reporting the truth. Does this mean, if the media is running scared from Trump's threats, that assignment desk editors will be told not to do certain stories, not to send reporters out on certain stories? The work won't even get done. Does this mean if someone uncovers something wild, that they sit on it and they don't publish it because they're afraid of Trump? Will this change the way news is reported and the news that we get? And will the truth be sitting underneath the, what they want us to hear?
Well, okay, so Rev P makes a point to kind of let me add that to what you just said. Mainstream media is not journalism. Let me just take your first sentence, Rev. Mainstream media is not journalism. When you talk about mainstream media, I'm assuming, and correct me because you can also continue your comments. I'm assuming you're talking about Fox News, CNN, all of them as mainstream media. That's what I'm assuming you're talking about. MSNBC, the 24-hour news channel. Okay. It's all infotainment. If you want journalism, seek out the independent media. Is that what you mean? Like, now when you say independent media, Rev, name it. What do you mean by independent media? Right?
Because people go find the craziest sources, and it's independent media, and they believe the wildest things. And some independent media sources don't have the same type of standards, journalistic standards. I just put up a couple of different websites, including CNN, where the day's news is being told in a truthful fashion. Like, they just reported about what happened with the Republican kowtowing to Trump, and how now we have more of a risk of having a government shutdown because they couldn't get the support for that. Is that's mainstream media? Are you saying they're not telling you the truth? I think we're so ingrained in kicking the mainstream media that you can't look at it and see that there's good work being done there.
Yeah. And I mean, and these are people that have learned how to find sources and get more than one source. And
Right.
I mean, and there are people that have learned how to do that. Independent media, that umbrella can mean all sorts of things. And I'm not saying there's not good independent media, right? I mean, I think that there are people that are really scrappy and just want to, start a newspaper or an online site, and they go in there and they ask the tough questions, and they don't want to, and they ask both sides. I understand that, and I think that that's awesome. I think the internet has allowed that to happen, and I think that that is a fair thing to look at, especially in the day and age where people agree with you, Rev, where they're like, CNN is so biased, I don't want to do that. But what Kim is also saying is, wait a minute, CNN has reporters that just go out there, ask people in power honest questions, and just want the honest answers, and then bring it to you. Right. Now, there are commentators and yada, 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 but if you immediately dismiss it, I was watching, and I don't remember who the journalist was or who the whatever, I don't even know who the reporter was, trying to question Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Marjorie Taylor Greene immediately dismissed the person by saying, we looked you up. You're a Democratic shill. You only donate to Democratic parties. It was something like that. And all I kept thinking was, even if he did, so what? This person is asking you a question. So do you only answer questions from Republican supporters?
Yes.
See, this is where we are right now.
That is where we are. And
that's stupid.
You know that whoever controls the message controls the people. If you tell people, if you have one unified message and everyone gets spoon-fed that message and we all swallow the same truth, regardless of whether it's the truth or not, we all swallow the same news, then they control it. They control everything we think, every narrative, everything. And it could be the biggest lie ever. And that's what we're all spoon-fed.
Exactly. I mean, think about the lies that have already been told that people just take as truth. Look at the Hunter Biden case, right? That guy that started the whole Hunter Biden, Joe Biden took bribes. He pled guilty to lying. Where's the huge headline for that? Nowhere. It's effing crickets. That guy lied. And you will hear Republican voters still spewing that bullshit like it's truth. That's the problem, is that the lie gets told over and over and over again as if it's truth. And even when somebody literally is convicted, right, pleads guilty to lying about it, nobody pays attention. Oh yeah, I lied about that. It was total bullshit.
Teacher Lori has a list for us. The Young Turks, Tyler Cohen, Anthony Davis.
Brian Tyler Cohen, yes.
Love Anthony Davis, Christopher Titus. Political podcasters become more important now, she says, because you can't trust the mainstream media. I didn't used to agree about the mainstream media before this, but now, and I would argue that just about everyone you mention here, they're not reporters. They're not going out and doing the investigative work. They comment or re-report what someone else did. So it's the big companies, or sometimes independent companies, that pay the investigative journalists to go out to have and can get access to people. That's where stuff gets uncovered. And then you have all these other people that talk about what other people found out. Us, right? We're not out street reporting. We used to do that work.
Right. That's an excellent point, Kim. So people
that's what we're going to miss.
Are being carried by the reporters that are actually out there.
That's right.
And that is such an excellent point.
So where are the reporters? Are they going to be sent to the stories? Are they going to have access to the White House? Is anyone going to talk to them because they work for CNN?
Yeah.
Those CNN reporters uncover a lot of stuff. Reporters from Politico. Are all of these companies going to be scared because they're on Trump's S list? Threatened with lawsuits every 5 minutes? And maybe that's what it takes for him to control the story so that he controls the people.
Well, and now that it's been said that you can't go after a sitting president, right? All of these lawsuits against him are on hold.
Yeah.
And that's why that was so dangerous to say. Like, he can literally, like he said, shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Mhm.
And now we literally can. I mean, we have literally told the president of the president, you can commit a crime right before us. And just because you're in office, we can't convict you? Do you know how insane that sounds? That we, the people, he works for us.
Mhm.
And we have told him, sadly not her, we have told him, it's okay. While you're in office, we'll just let you do whatever the hell you want. That is so effing stupid.
Yep.
But the Republicans are the law and order party. My ass. You guys are a cult. But whatever. And again, going back to what I was talking about at the beginning, this is why I have my big ass calendar. I don't know what I'm going to do over the next. I had a friend come in from Washington a couple of days ago to visit. He's in town for Christmas, and he was an old roommate of ours. And I was saying this exact same thing because he was asking about the show and all that. And I was like, I just can't believe we're doing it again. I can't believe we're doing this again. And I'm already exhausted.
Yep.
And, again, it's,
They haven't even taken power yet.
Exactly. And Liz says, what about Elon? Elon throws this whole other mix. Who is waiting for Trump to kick Elon out? Like, there's already this narrative co-president. He's kind of this shadow president. Like, what the F, right? Like, Elon gets more headlines than Vance, I feel like. Right? I mean, it seems like I'm frightened on one hand. Nugget, shut up. I get it. I just feel like there is some sort of, there's something we don't understand. And I don't understand why Biden and Democrats just aren't. Why aren't they doing something? Is anybody mad about that? Like, I'm mad about it. I feel like Biden should be doing something. Do you think that Biden should pardon Liz Cheney?
Oh, absolutely. Preemptive pardons across the book. Everybody that seems to be threatened or might be threatened, pardon them all.
Even if they don't want it.
Yep.
Even if they don't want it. You can't go after anyone on the January 6th committee. You can't go after anybody. You know what? I'd pardon every single person.
Absolutely.
The Democratic Party right now.
Everyone. All Democrats, pardon.
All Democrats are pardons. It's
all members of the media, pardon. I heard Bill Clinton say the other day, well, I don't think preemptive pardons are a good idea. And Hillary doesn't need a pardon because she didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Well, it doesn't matter if Hillary didn't do anything wrong. I respect and admire that you still think that the laws of America are ideal, right? But we know that judges are now in the pocket of Trump and company. And so it doesn't necessarily matter if you've done anything wrong. What matters is, do they think you did something wrong? Are they mad at you because you went against them? Can they find a judge to agree? Done. So preemptive pardons, sure, use whatever is at your disposal to protect people who really legitimately did nothing wrong.
I mean, look at this. I read this headline. Fake electors from 2020 casting 2024 votes for Trump while facing felony charges. Like, it's not as if there's any shame anymore, right? I mean, I get it that they can, but what the hell, right? Like, you would think just don't let them. There's no shame anymore within the Republican Party. Like, no, you are facing felony charges, but because they've drank in this Kool-Aid, even though we know the election wasn't stolen, even though we know that that's BS, they still let them do it. It's so, we're living in abnormal times. And so, yeah, I think that everybody should be part. I think Biden, I don't know what the Democratic Party is doing. And I'm done waiting because I thought that they were going to do something. I was really optimistic that there was some plan, right? Like, okay, we lost the election, but they're going to do something to protect democracy because they talked about it enough and nothing's happened. They've done nothing to
safeguard America.
Us. Yeah, like what are you doing? Like play the game. I said that at the beginning. Play the game, and they're not.
No, I don't know if what and this is what causes me sleepless nights is Trump was saying that the Constitution should be suspended in certain cases.
like now, the birthright citizenship and all that crap,
said this a while back, right? And I don't know if this is possible that you can suspend the Constitution of the United States. It seems to me wholly illegal.
I would say so as well, yes.
But take it to the Supreme Court. And when they're looking at each other from the dais down to the defendant's table, and they see Trump's team sitting there, Trump, who put most of them on the panel, Trump, who threatens people, if you're in Congress, to be primaried. You know, if you're just a random person, I don't know what the threat is, but I'm sure there's some kind of a threat. And so then you have these people in positions of power that would maybe agree to suspend the Constitution. That keeps me up at night. Then we're in real trouble. My husband keeps reminding me. We would have
to have, I mean, even the Supreme Court couldn't. We would still have to have the states agreeing on something on the Constitution. I mean,
to change it, but not to suspend it.
To suspend the Constitution, the Supreme Court could do that on its own.
What but I think Trump would have to say, I'm suspending it, and people would sue, and it would go to the Supreme Court for an emergency hearing. See, I don't even know if any of that's true. These are the things that go through my mind. If Trump says that the Constitution could be suspended in certain cases, what does that mean for all of us? My husband says that President Jackson was horrible.
Okay.
Like probably the most awful president. If we can get through that, which was very similar to this, then America will survive the end of the Trump years. Elon Musk and who else was it? Steve Bannon. They're talking about a third term for Trump. Again, going against the Constitution. That long? That's not likely.
I would. I mean, sorry, I don't wish death on anybody, but I mean, it's unlikely. Being president is a taxing job. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
it's a taxing job for people who care.
And for people that do it. I mean, he doesn't even remember. He doesn't do the job, actually.
People who feel the weight of the world on their shoulders, they emerge looking young, or they go in looking young and emerge looking like they're ancient. For Trump, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't have the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's sitting there looking at how much money he can make for him and his friends.
Yeah.
Right. He's golfing. He's not it's just not taxing for him. This is not a hard job for him. He doesn't have stress and pressure. Forget it.
No women will lead House committees for the first time in 20 effing years.
It's not a surprise. They don't like women.
The 17 standing committees, whose leaders were selected by House Republicans' steering committee, will be dominated by white men. When Congress is seated on January 3rd, no people of color were selected either. Does it matter?
It was
I would say so.
It was the success of the bros, right? That the bros don't want the women in charge. They don't want people of color in charge. They'll tell you during the election, come on, Latino voters. Come on, Black voters. We're on your side.
We know what you want. We understand what you want.
They roll us back to the 1950s where everyone else is a second-class citizen except the white dudes. Love you, white dudes, but you know it's the truth.
It's so disappointing. The only thing that I am looking forward to is anybody interested in reading the Gaetz report? I mean, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, okay, there's two things I'm looking forward to. Not that I'm going to be surprised by anything in the Gaetz report. I do find it funny that he's kind of trying to preempt it by saying it's not surprising that I partied and smoked and drank with women. I've changed. But what I do also like, did you see the tweet that he put out? Where he's like, somebody suggested that I show up on January 3rd, participate in the speaker election since I was elected to the Congress.
You quit.
No. And then he says, take the oath, file a privileged motion, and expose every Me Too settlement paid using public funds. So basically, the dude just wants to walk in, light a match, blow the whole thing up, and then resign. Like, I don't know, but
So
I'm
he's
down.
is
Like,
he
I am
saying
so down
that
for that.
is he saying that Me Too settlements shouldn't have been paid, or he just wants to expose those who wronged women and are still sitting in those seats?
Well, I think what he's saying is if you're going to call me out
I'm gonna come and show
and put
you
this
right.
report out,
Yeah.
calling me out on the bad things that I did, I'm going to expose all your little Me Too moments
Yeah.
that you settled out using public funds and burn this shit down. And I'm for it. I am so for it.
Show
Please,
us the
and I don't
dirt.
care if there's Democrats,
Yeah.
Republicans, independents, burn it all down. I don't care what party you're part of. I really don't, because I am so sick and tired. I really don't care what party you're part of. I don't. I really don't. At all. At all. I don't. And that's the only thing that Gaetz has done that I actually freaking agree with.
I was reading yesterday Gaetz ideas and thoughts about this report being made public, which could happen, I think, tonight, tomorrow. It's close.
Yeah, it's close.
And he said, and this means it's going to be really bad, right? He said, oh, yeah, there's some embarrassing things in there.
Of course. Because he's an embarrassing kind of guy.
I mean, and he doesn't seem like he's embarrassed by much, so it must be really, really bad.
I mean, it's typical. He's like, I was a partier. Yeah, I probably and he even said something to the effect of, and who does this? He's like, I probably paid off women that I didn't have sex with just because they asked me to.
Really?
Give me a break. People don't pay off people just because they asked to be paid off. Like, nobody does that. I'm down for it. Like, light a match, Gaetz. I will totally support you totally blowing up the political Me Too movement.
If there is a bunch of hypocrites sitting there,
please,
that have done things and he can show it,
yes,
then fine.
Do it. Do it. Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Oh, thank you, Pamela. $10 donation. Pelosi just blocked AOC from the Oversight Committee, supported a 74-year-old man with esophageal cancer. There is no fight with these senators. That is such bullshit. I'm sorry. Pelosi, I understand that AOC is a very progressive Democrat. Pelosi needs to stop putting her foot on the weight of this. She needs to read the friggin' room. I don't agree with that. I don't. I really, really don't. Nope. She could have. I think she. Nah. I don't know. I don't know the 74-year-old man. I have to look that up, or maybe Kim look that up. I don't know who the guy is. I think that we could have really shown. See, again, that article that I was talking about with Chris Murphy, the Democrat from Connecticut, he was also talking about the narrative that Democrats need to put out. And he's like, we need to stop talking about democracy and talk about reforming democracy, because that's what Trump and Republicans were talking about. Like, we need to talk about really reforming it, blowing stuff that we're doing up. And that it means embracing some of the things that AOC, Bernie Sanders are talking about. Because I don't think Pelosi lives in the world as an older woman, and I'm not being ageist here. She does not live in the world that AOC is going to live in when she's Pelosi's age. I'm sorry. She's not.
Yeah. Jerry Connolly is the man's name, and they chose him to lead the oversight committee instead of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This would be the top member on the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. Jerry Connolly, a Democrat from Virginia. And so the progressives and the younger folks in Congress have to take a back seat again.
That's BS. That was a wrong choice. Pelosi is not understanding. And, and I'm trying, and let me just say this. And don't get mad at me, my older listeners, okay? And please don't. And I don't mean this in an ageist way. But you really need to understand that the world is moving at a pace that is much faster than the world that you guys lived in. And I, as a 40-something-year-old woman, I don't even know what my world is going to look like when my kid graduates college. I don't even know how to tell her or him what to major in. You think Nancy Pelosi has any comprehension of what the world's going to look like for AOC even? That's what I think is wrong with what's going on in Washington, right? I just think that there's no comprehension that we need to move faster, right? I mean, they're debating whether or not TikTok should exist while AI is steamrolling over society, right? How many of you have been getting like ads on Facebook? I don't know if you've been getting these for like, oh, you know what the perfect gift is for your loved ones? How about an AI book all about their lives? It's written for them. I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want books written about me by AI. Like, it's a stupid ass freaking book, I'm sure, but this is just the beginning. And Washington is nowhere close to keeping up. And Pelosi's choosing a 74-year-old man to oversee shit? Are you kidding me right now? He doesn't even know. I bet he doesn't even have a TikTok account. You know what I mean? Like, Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now?
Kim writes, term limits. The problem is that our system isn't based on term limits benefiting us. The longer you're in Congress, the longer you're in the Senate, the better appointments you get. The longer you're in there, the more good you can do for your district, because then you get to be really important.
It's insane.
And so that's the way it's structured right now. That wouldn't work.
I am so disappointed in Pelosi. I really am. I mean, she is just, I just feel like I think it's arrogance. I think it's ego. Dumb. I think it's dumb.
She is recovering from a hip replacement surgery. She fell in Luxembourg and broke her hip, and she's at a hospital in Germany recovering. 84 years old, Nancy Pelosi. And she was traveling with a bipartisan congressional delegation to mark the anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge during World War II. And she fell down a flight of stairs, and it was a pretty rough injury.
Ew.
So yeah, so she's recovering from her fall, her hip shattering.
She wasn't thinking clearly. I don't know. But if she can have that much of a sway all the way over there on whatever medication she is in, she has way too much power over the Democratic Party.
Yep.
And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely, here's Chris, or C. Jason. He's like, here, Nikki, I'll say it for you. Pelosi's been in power the entire time corporations gutted the regulatory state and got Citizens United, which destroyed this country. She's a terrible status quo congresswoman. I don't think she's been overall terrible. I won't agree with you there as universally, but I think that as she has aged, not everything, I won't say everything, But I think in this instance, reading the room of where this country is going, I don't think she's kept up. And I think that this is a good example of it. I really do. And term limits, I think, again, Washington is too old. Washington is too old, and the country and technology and where we're going is moving way too fast. And you know who
Trump's
knows
too
that?
old.
Elon Musk,
Mm-hmm.
Silicon Valley. They know it. You know, there was somebody who was saying, oh God, who was it? You guys have heard it, that somebody's like, oh, you write the bill. You write the bill because we don't understand it. And there was like, oh, Jon Stewart was saying it. Jon Stewart was saying it because somebody was explaining it to him. They're like, oh my God, Washington doesn't understand how it works. So they ask the people that are supposed to be supposed to have oversight to write the bill for the people that are supposed to have the oversight over them. That's what Washington is doing. And Elon Musk and tech companies and Jeff Bezos and all those rich ass people know it. And that's what we're letting them do because people like Nancy Pelosi don't get it. And it's ridiculous. So
I will tell you that she's a bit of a beast, Nancy Pelosi. Listen to this. This is House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul. Okay. He's a Republican from Texas, and you can see him there right next to Nancy Pelosi on the far lower right. You see how they're kind of holding hands there? Mm-hmm. He said, I was right next to her. She likes to wear high heels, very high. She was on one of the last steps on this marble staircase that didn't have a railing, and she lost her footing and she fell to the ground. I immediately helped pick her up, and we took a picture of that. And you can see, he says, me holding her up by her hand. And very soon after, a vehicle showed up and took her to the hospital, and she had to have surgery.
Oh,
so
shoot.
She powers through the pain for this photo op. And he holds her up so she can smile at the picture for the picture. But you can see he's definitely got a grip on her, holding her up. So, yikes.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just insane what's going on. Again, and these are the people. This is what's happening. You know, we have people like RFK Jr. That's going to be, running healthcare. We have bird flu going on in California, right? I can't imagine if the next health crisis happens with RFK Jr. at the helm, right? I mean, this is what we have to look forward to over the next 4 effing years. So
what's the way to cope? Is the way to cope
drinking heavily? Apparently. That's me.
Cheers. Okay. Is the way to cope though, like ABC, just pay the $15 million, take a seat and be quiet and wait till it's over? Is the way to cope, okay, we're just going to sit here and we're just going to say, let's see what they can do, and we're just going to not rock the boat? Or is there some kind of way to fight back, to slow things down? Because I don't want the next 4 years to just be America to be steamrolled right over.
No, of course not.
Though every injustice keeps you up at night and makes your blood boil, and that's not healthy either. So do we turn away? Do we ignore it and just realize in 4 years it could go away? Or do we mount some type of fight and take on the frustration on our shoulders, despite the fact that our mental health is at stake?
Tammy's considering a shroom investment, so maybe she's just going to trip out during the whole entire thing. Act like it didn't even happen. I don't know. I think you might bad trip a little bit, Tammy, if you pay too close of attention. I've been debating that. Like, there's part of me. This is the push and pull that I get, Kim, honestly. And I've talked about this many times, right? About like, how do I put my attention towards the things that I want versus the things that I don't want, right? Yep. How do I talk about the things that I want? How do I put this show? How do we, Kim, talk about what we want, right? How the country that we want, the issues that we want, without giving power to Trump and Elon Musk and all the rich and powerful bullshit that we don't want, right? And it's hard. It's really, really hard because we're so upset to see these people just like even Nancy Pelosi supporting that guy versus AOC. It's like, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
it just seems like we can't catch a break, right? Like, and I feel like if we knew that vote was happening, right? Like, how do we know these votes are happening? How do we know, again, like we need to prop up AOC. We need to continue to prop up the issues that we want. And I think that's the way we do it. Like, what do we want our country to look like? I think we need to continue to talk about better healthcare in this country. Luigi Mangione. Oh, I wanted to show this picture. Did you see this effing picture? Did you see this picture today?
Showing. Oh, I did.
Oh my
Like, how many
God.
people do you need to escort him from the
Oh my
helicopter to the
God.
courthouse?
Somebody was like, they're gonna make a painting out of this. Like it's like Jesus being crucified or something. This does not help New York's case. This makes it. Oh my God.
They all wanted the photo op. They all wanted to say,
Even Eric
I'm
Adams
part
is
of
in
this.
this picture.
Mayor
Look at him
Adams is back there. Yeah, he's right.
Jesus.
He's right to the left of Luigi in his gray suit, right behind
Give
him.
me a break. Yeah, I mean, the guy's handcuffed. He's not going anywhere. I mean, look at that though. Dude, he's up for the death penalty. He's facing federal charges now and state charges. And you want to know what? I don't think he's any less popular. Like, I think we need to talk about healthcare. I think we need to talk about housing. I was listening to this video. It was this conference in Geneva. And I think they were one of the women that was talking, she was talking about just in the United States, and we've heard these statistics before, CEO pay since 1978 has gone up 1,400%. Compensation for workers, 18%, right? Inflation has only gone up 30%. And yet they'll convince you, right, that it's the illegal immigrant that's like ruining this country. It's not them. It's the rich. Fuck the rich. I'm sorry to use, the language that I love to use. I'm sorry. It's such BS. The rich love to convince the masses that it is the poor that are stealing from you. It is not. It is always the rich. They have been stealing from us. They are hoarding their wealth. Billionaires should not exist.
I might be jaded, but likely not. But my first thought when Trump wanted to raise the amount of money that America could borrow, which just got tanked, but I thought, oh, yeah, so let's put us further into debt. Let's raise the debt ceiling so that you can suck more money out of it for yourself and your friends.
Right.
I mean, that's what he wants. That to me is likely the scenario that will happen. Raise the debt ceiling so there's more for him to take. Right. Take. Because billionaires can never be happy with what they have, however much it is. They always want more. More.
There should be the difference between CEO pay, right? And the worker pay should not be such a big gap. And that is not a lie, Gordon. It is not a lie. It's not. I don't know. And Pelosi shouldn't be as rich. I'm not talking. This is no political party. This is not politics. I'm not protecting Democratic rich people or Republican rich people. I'm talking about all rich fucking people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rich people hoard their wealth.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because they lobby Washington to create laws so they legally can do it. And then they look at us, they're like, well, I can do that. And Trump knows it.
Yeah.
And now Trump's in power. And that is why, all back to what we talked about at the beginning, they like him as president. Come on. People can't be that stupid. Come on now.
This would be considered outrageous in America. But I have a friend who was the CEO of some type of company, like an aerospace company in Germany and the Netherlands. And their rule is you can serve as CEO. I think it was two or 3 years you get to serve, and then the next person serves after you.
Right.
So you only are in that position of power for a very limited amount of time.
Good. Yes.
And that seemed to make sense to me. Now that goes against everything America's for. You work your way up and you deserve all the money and the years and you know, whatever. But I thought that's a great idea. Otherwise, these people get into these positions and they scoop up their millions and their stock options. And yeah. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing that happens in other countries that doesn't happen here.
Exactly. Oh, and Gordon, I'm glad. I misunderstood your comment. I'm glad you're in agreement with me. I'm just saying, like, we have it so ass backwards in this country. I'm disappointed. I'm just really disappointed in how the wool has been put over the eyes of so many low to middle class Americans who truly think that the ultra rich, I'm not even just talking about the rich, right? Because we have a lot of rich people in California. I mean, wealthy people that are nice people. But I mean, given like the rest of the country, they're rich, right? But whatever. But the ultra rich that really think that they have their like best interests at heart. That is a load of crap. They don't. And they are the first to blame the poorest of people
for the problems. The migrants who have nothing.
Friggin' kidding me.
Yes, it's the migrants that are driving up the cost of buying a house.
It's the people on welfare. Oh my God.
The migrants who can't even afford to buy a house.
Oh my God. It's those people on welfare. Yeah. It's those homeless people that are just ruining society. Give me a freaking break over here. Just stop. Yeah. I'm just, okay. I could be on the soap. I could be literally on that soapbox all day. But anyways, so stop listening to ultra rich people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all those people that are going to be in power for the next 4 years as if they know how you're living. They have no comprehension of how you're living. And did you hear Donald Trump say that he can't bring down inflation and grocery prices because it's hard? Oh my God.
We're going to bring down those grocery prices. We're going to help the middle class. We all knew that was a lie when he said it. It was never, and I don't believe people really believe that.
I know.
We're going to vote with our pocketbook. No, we're voting with our race and our station in life. That's how we're voting.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Okay. I have a funny story to end the show with.
Thank you. Because I was feeling like I need another cocktail. Bring me.
Okay, but it has to do with drinking. Yeah. I'm so glad that you're drinking because it has to do with drinking. It's kind of funny. Okay. So did you hear this story about this Ohio funeral home?
No.
Death and taxes. Okay. It's the only thing that's constant, right? So there is a tax. Did I lose the video? Okay, I didn't lose the video. Okay, good. Okay, so there is this Columbus, Ohio funeral home that wants to be the first in Ohio to operate with a liquor license. Okay.
Wait, what?
Now, I don't think it's uncommon to drink before a funeral. I mean,
well, maybe they want the wake to happen at the funeral home instead of at the nearby bar.
Okay, so I'm just going to play this video for you, and I'm just going to preface this by saying, the minute the guy that's in charge of the funeral home gets on your screen, I'm going to be like, this looks like the biggest frat bro I've ever seen. And I just all I keep thinking is this guy's like, yeah, my dad passed down this funeral home. And I'm like, dude, I could totally make this funeral home way more fun.
We could make this into a rager. So,
here we
My
go.
role in this position is to dead people, be more of a celebration of life than more of the multi-day traditional services, which costs a lot of money.
Hunter Triplett, the owner of Evergreen Funeral, Cremation, and Reception, wants to shed the business's reputation of being dark and morbid by offering manageable prices and the option for mourners to raise a toast to a lost loved one with a bar.
We'll only be offering alcohol when people are on this premises and remain on the premises until the continuation of our services, just for the safety of the people in the community around.
Triplett says adding a bar will allow people to make the service more personalized. Evergreen is the largest full-service funeral home in Central Ohio, and Triplett says will be the first of its kind in the state.
And their inspector called me and they're like, is this Evergreen Funeral? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you would be the first funeral home to get a liquor license in the state of Ohio.
The funeral home sits along East 17th Avenue. The building was once Marimore Chocolate Factory. Triplets family bought the property in 2015. Evergreen Cemetery sits right across the street, and Triplet says he wanted his services to be easy to manage financially and planning-wise.
It's kind of like a one-stop shop for funeral service, with full packages being, $5,000-$6,000, contrary to the national average, which can be upwards of $10,000. Online translators to allow some of the traditional African, some of the Middle Eastern families that we serve in this community to be able to communicate properly with their families. So,
blah, blah, blah.
And
Anyways, so he just wants to start the bar. I think it's kind of genius. I'm just saying, but the guy was just cracking me up. The minute it started, I was like, you want to drink at your funeral, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, why not?
Why not, indeed?
I mean, a lot of people are like, that's just an Irish funeral. Not to knock the Irish, but like people are like, I've been drinking at funerals the whole entire time.
I can say that here's a reason not to do it. I'll be the naysayer in the group.
Oh, boo.
You know that when people die, when a family member dies, emotions run high.
Of course.
People are wondering who's going to get the money. Somebody cut out of the will. Somebody wants grandma's chest of drawers. Somebody wants the diamond ring. There's all kinds of, but these things are brewing. These issues are brewing. And death brings tension among the survivors. And so if people start drinking, I could see the police might be called out to the Evergreen Funeral Home quite often.
Reason to show up. I think it'll bring out more people. You know what I mean? Like, if you're worried that people are going to show up, I'd be like, if I served alcohol, I think more people would show up, right? I mean, anything to bring out more people to the funeral, people diving onto the casket. Who knows? Who knows? I know Kim is always the voice of reason.
And then you wander across the street for the burial.
Right.
And Uncle Ralph is puking in the what is it called? The hole, when they dig the hole for the coffin.
Yeah, exactly. No. I'm gonna be cremated anyway.
This could be ugly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be
very good. Yeah.
I don't think are you gonna be buried? I'm gonna be cremated.
I don't think so.
I don't think I need a hole in the ground. Not to get all morbid or anything, but I just don't think
believe that the spirit resides in the ground with the bones.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, my grandparents, I don't go to their graves because I don't think they're in there.
No.
To me, they're not. They're in places I remember them. They're, yeah, I don't know. And so I like my mom, probably want to be cremated and scattered on a beach in Maui somewhere.
There you go. See, exactly. Heather says, if there isn't an alcohol-fueled hot mess at my funeral, what am I even dying for? Exactly. I like this.
What's the point?
Sauce and service. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I think, although I will say, I do think that it could lead to some very, very drunk moments, but I'm all for it. I'm just saying that.
I do respect and appreciate his surfer boy entrepreneurship.
Yes, exactly. All right.
The next thing, there's going to be edibles over in the corner. And if you don't prefer to drink, then you can go to our shroom bar here on the left side of the room. Because Aunt Evelyn loved a good shroom.
Exactly. You always imbibe of the edibles as much as the alcohol, if that is more of your thing. Eternal reefs. That's what I've done when I croak. Helps the coral reefs. Eternal.
I like the idea. Look at this. That? Eternal reefs.
Living legacies that memorialize our loved ones. Combines a cremation urn, ash scattering, and burial at sea into one meaningful, permanent, environmental tribute to life. Wow.
I like it.
About $4,000. It can accommodate one person and a pet.
And a what?
A pet.
Oh, okay.
Nuggy can come with me. Oh. I think Nug's going to die before me.
Wow.
That's kind of unique.
Oh, so what do they put you in this reef ball?
Yeah.
They put you in a reef ball. The
Okay.
international gold standard of designed materials that Eternal Reefs uses for memorialization.
Interesting.
They combine urn, ash scattering, and burial at sea into one meaningful, permanent environmental tribute to life. The Eternal Reef is a designed reef made of environmentally safe cast concrete placed on the ocean floor as a permanent memorial of a life well lived.
Interesting.
Love it.
I mean, it costs between $2,000 and $7,000. That's what it says. Memorial Reefs, depending on the company you choose, it can cost between $2,000 and $7,000. That's actually pretty good. Funerals are really freaking expensive, especially if you want to get buried. I mean, gosh, for a hole in a casket, Jesus. That's why I don't want to be buried. Honestly, if I was gonna be buried, I would tell my family, I'm like, do not spend a ton of money on a box. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I have told any longtime listeners of the Nikki Medora show know that I've gotten weird on what I've wanted to do. I've wanted to be bronzed. I've wanted to be I want my ashes to be mixed with my husband. I've wanted to be made into jewelry, which I still kind
Right.
of
The
do.
necklace. I remember
The
that.
necklace. I still do. I mean, I have ashes. You could do many things. I want to be a plant mixed with my husband. I want jewelry. I did want to be bronzed. I wanted to be bronzed and placed in front of my parents' house for a while. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to do all kinds of things. Gonna sleep with the fishes. All right. Well, that's our weird ass show. Teacher Lori, thanks for the show. Have a great weekend and Christmas. I mean, this is our last show before Christmas. Oh my God. Okay. Everybody have a fabulous Christmas. Let's say thank you to everybody for our donations. Louise, $5 donation. Thank you in honor of Bob Slim Dunlap, guitarist of the Replacements.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Slim. See you on the Skyway. Well, rest in peace, Slim.
Yeah.
I cheers you.
Another drink to Slim.
My last sip to you. Thank you, Louise, also for the donation. Lori and Daniel D. Lori above the bar. Go visit her at the Red Jack Saloon, especially if you're there for the weekend. I was thinking of you, Lori, because last weekend was SantaCon, which, if you know Lori, she locks the door during SantaCon. She does not let the Santas in. If you are dressed as a Santa, you are not allowed in, which is a reason to go visit the Red Jack Saloon because you don't want those drunk Santas. But I think that was last weekend. Really, it's so funny. So, yeah, thank you so much for the $50 donation. Pamela, the $10 donation. Thank you. And Pelosi blocked AOC, which was
awesome.
Bad idea. But thank you so much for the $10 donation. And our donations are always open, even if you watch the show on replay, which so many of you do. Our Patreon is open at thenikkimadoroshow.com and our PayPal. Thank you to all of you who have been donating through PayPal, and the Christmas donations have been awesome. Thank you. Just go to paypal.com. The Nikki Medoro Show is the PayPal donation. You will see this. You'll see the logo. That's the confirmation that you're on the right page. And we really appreciate you guys for supporting the show all year long. And our delicious supporter of the show, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. She has this guava barbecue sauce, and every time you buy the sauce, a part of the purchase goes to the show. So use the coupon code NIKKI'S, NIKKI'S, and you get 10% off the offer, off the order. And so please support her. AuntieTabby's.com is where you get that delicious barbecue sauce. All right. So it is Christmas on the 25th. Oh, Rod, a $20 super sticker coming in at the last minute. Thank you, Rod. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for all of your support. You guys are so freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Tell you that the supporters of this show, the After Party Live and Mark show, really made Christmas. I mean, without that, it would have been slim pickings over here. So thank you for supporting these shows. We're so grateful.
We depend on you guys. And it's 100% crowdfunded. I mean, radio, everyone mentions KGO, and it's hard, leaving KGO terrestrial radio, moving to YouTube, everything that's been happening. It's, and we love seeing you guys, and we love the fact that you guys donate, and it shows us that you love the show. So thank you guys so much. We love you. Have a fabulous holiday. We will see you again. Merry Christmas all. Santa will definitely bring you all everything you wish for. Mwah. We'll see you next time. Bye. Love each other.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.